So basically, my situation, is about God, you get me? You know, in the beginning, didn't believe in God, didn't believe in Jesus Christ, or nothing religious, you get me? And obviously, my mum said to me one day, we should get baptised together, you get me? And obviously I rejected that, and I didn't understand why I should even think that, you get me? So I said in my head, I'll get baptised and believe in God when you're dead. That's what I said in my head, you get me? So obviously now, I ended up finding my mum, you get me?
Yeah.
So I felt like that was some kind of sacrifice, you get what I'm saying to you? Do you know what I mean?
That's what's making you.
On this mad mission.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to explain to you is you do hear that other people, they sell their soul for riches or they sacrifice people in their family, you get me?
Cordell, you didn't.
Yeah, I understand that, but I still can't help the words that are spoken to existence and I had to have witnessed.
You didn't. Listen, your mum drunk herself to death. It was nothing to do with you. I could have helped her more. She rang me that morning asking me to lend her some money, right? And I said no, because I knew it was going on the drink, right? And then she was like, oh, I said, what do you want the money for? And she said, I need some cigarettes. I said, no, you don't need cigarettes. I knew she wanted for the drink because she'd been drinking. So I said to her, I'll go to the shop and I'll buy you some cigarettes if you want cigarettes. So she went funny with me. I was like, I need some. I said, I'm not borrowing you money. And that was probably the first time I ever said, I'm not lending you any money. So we didn't have words, but I just said to her, ring me when you've woke up. You knocked my door that afternoon and says to me, you can't wait your mum up, do you remember? And I come round with you. So my last thing I says to her was, I'm not lending you any money. So we sort of, I just said to her, ring me when you've woke up, because I was mad that she was drunk again. Do you know what I mean? So don't you think that plays on my mind? The last thing that was said between us was me saying, oh, just ring me when you wake up. Because I was angry, not angry, but I was annoyed that she was drinking again. Because I kept saying to her, you've got to stop drinking, you've got to stop drinking. Look at Chance and Irina, when she was drunk. Who looked after them? You did. You did nothing wrong. It's nothing to do with you why your mum died. Absolutely nothing to do with you.
I understand where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. Because you're a real person and a normal person. But all I'm saying, is when I was a kid, and I used to just go through my little struggles with my mum and dad. I used to always wish death on them as much as I was saying hello. So what I'm trying to explain to you is what you just said about the drinking and all that stuff. It's been going on since before you even knew and before I was even born. So what I'm trying to explain to you is how come the line has to get drawn as soon as I make that statement then? But I'm just saying that I understand where you're coming from. But what I'm saying to you is people would never understand where I'm coming from. Because why would God take notice of what you've just said? Do you get what I'm saying to you?
That is because that's probably one of the last thoughts you had. And that's always stuck in your head, you thinking that. But you cannot blame yourself. You cannot think that by you thinking them thoughts. How many years have you been thinking them thoughts?
Still thinking to this day. But what I'm saying to you is I believe it's gone towards a better cause. That's what I feel like, you know what I mean? Even though that she died, do you know what I'm saying to you? Maybe I wouldn't be where I was today if she was alive.
And where do you think she'd be today if she was still alive? Do you think she'd stop drinking?
What I'm basically saying, is, obviously a long story short, I just feel like going down this journey, I might be able to see her again, you know what I mean? Repeat history in the Bible and that. That's what this mad mission's been all about, you get me?
What do you mean?
Because what I'm trying to explain to you, basically, what I'm saying, do you want me to break it down to you, or do you want me to just tell you straight away?
Just tell me straight.
Alright, thank you.
Do not say you're going to try and do something to yourself, though.
No. So basically, I believe, we are all gods, So there's only one God, but we're all gods, So what I'm trying to explain to you, is I can show everywhere it says that in the scriptures. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Where it says in the Bible, that we're gods. Yeah, so what I'm trying to explain to you, yeah, is I've had to go through mental health. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
Mm.
And they say that I'm not well, yeah, but personally, all I'm doing is reciting scriptures and saying them, you get me? So I'm not exactly saying anything off my own back. And then obviously, we're going around robbing shops, taxing shops, this and that, and, you know, free petrol, you know.
Yeah, but that's like everybody's done that kind
But
of
hold on a second now, but what I'm trying to explain to you, yeah, is I've got over 50 charges, yeah, not even gone to court. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you?
So using the mental health as a reason for you doing it.
Well, basically, I just tell them the truth, you get me? But I can't control what they want to say on my behalf. So what I'm trying to explain to you, yeah, is, you see the mental health, yeah? They've created a law for how people think. So, if your thoughts go against our thoughts, you've got mental health. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what
It
I'm trying,
really does actually.
yeah. So what I'm trying to explain to you is this is where I've come to now. So I'm trying to explain to you, by the time you've said you're welcome to come round here every day and Saturday and that, I wouldn't be able to do that because I've got some mad mission now. I've got some mad thinking to do. Do you get what I'm saying to you? But I had a meeting with my doctor the other day, and this is where I had to start thinking to myself, I've had enough, yeah? So, I've been out of hospital since 2020, you get me, like this year. This is my first summer on road, yeah? Now, I had a personal meeting here with 2 doctors, you get me? Now, right now, nobody's meeting up here because it's the corona, you get me? So, everyone's telephone this and that. But I've gone there, yeah, and interrupted their whole hospital thing. And said, yo, I'm here for a meeting, what time? So then I've got to see the doctors personally, at 2:30, yeah. So what the moral of the story is, yeah, is that the doctor's convinced that I've got perfect mental health at the moment. And obviously, I've had no medication. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? I had the medication on me, so he had to see it, so he had to pretend that he believed. And he had to pretend that I was on the medication because he wouldn't be able to say that I could behave like that by myself.
Do you seriously believe what you're saying? Or are you believing other people's beliefs, or do you really believe what you're saying?
I believe, yeah, what I am saying, yeah? And I believe what I am thinking, yeah? Now what I'm trying to explain to you, yeah, is all my words, yeah, and all my understanding, yeah, reflect off who I am and the thoughts of who I am. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? So by the time someone's explaining about this fridge, they learned it over here. By the time someone's telling you about that chair, they learned it over there. But what I'm trying to explain to you, that this is from who I am. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? So what this basically means, yeah, I've been teaching people really simple, and it goes like this, yeah? You see, yeah, our thoughts are always going to be in a box. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So...
Are you supposed to keep them in that box?
Oh, no.
And you start talking about your thinking, what you're thinking and feeling, and you're then labelled as...
mental health.
Yeah.
But you know what the thing is, yeah? Like, how come, yeah, there's such a fat line on free will? There's a fat line now, yeah, because remember, if you walk down that road, you've already paid for it, you know. When you walk down that road and you think it's for free, remember you got clothes on your back, shoes on your feet, food in your belly, and energy, which is all paid for. Yeah, so by the time you think you're walking down the street for free, you're not. So what I'm trying to explain to you is, no one paid your mum or dad to have sex. So why are you now in a life here where you have to pay for the rest of your life and you never have to be here?
Yeah, but that is when you think deep.
Whoa. Hold on a second. What I'm saying to you is, what is the definition of deep though? Seriously? What is the definition? Because
you go in deep. People always think. I mean, I sit and think about certain things, but not to the extent you do. You go in deep.
Hold on a second now. Remember, yeah, I'm self-educated, you know. I've had no choice. I've never had a job in my life. I've never had responsibility in my life. I've had nothing to ever do with my life but to at least think. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? Now, by the time you're thinking about what I'm saying, you could be distracted by a thought, distracted by a phone call, distracted by the dog. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? Now, basically, I'm going to try and see myself in your situation. Don't you ever feel like you personally are the only person in the world that knows something? Just you personally. And then when you try and discuss it with someone, don't you feel neglected? And then when you're not neglected, they feel like, I know. But then the discussion doesn't go any further.
Yeah, because
Hold on,
people don't want to agree with what you're saying. Or they've got their own beliefs and they believe that your beliefs are rubbish. How many people have told you you're talking shit?
Well, I've got mental health, so you know what I mean? I think that says enough.
That's what I'm saying. So who are they to say you're talking shit? What you're talking is your beliefs. What I'm saying is my beliefs. You've got no right to tell me what I'm saying is shit, and I've got no right to tell you what you're saying is shit.
Basically, yeah. I just want you to know that you didn't answer the question. But all I'm saying to you is as I am, so are you. Our belief will always be one because it's based on the same thing, I believe. Now, where your strings are in your belief and my strings are in my belief, that's perfectly fine, but it's still a reflection of who I am. Does that make sense? So, once we start taking them strings aside and saying that there's one string, then we're going to start understanding where I'm coming from and where you're coming from. And all you need to do is actually listen to what I'm saying here and think about what you're saying, and then you'll understand what I am actually saying. Because I used to walk around disagreeing with people, but then I just remembered I can always agree to disagree. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? I always used to be convinced here that people need to understand me, but if we can withstand, that's the beginning. So all I'm saying to you is I ain't even took out the Bible yet for you to have a real life dispute, but all I'm saying to you, is it's a special skill that you've got, you get me? To stick to your point and always make it. But you see, when you get above it, that's when you understand who you are.
So what are you trying to get out of all this now? What do you want to happen? You're
So
saying that
this
you've
is
been told you're not under mental health now, you are.
No, this is what I'm saying to you, yeah? I've got the recording to show you the doctor's meeting, yeah? But the doctor's basically convinced I'm taking medication and I've got mental wellness, and at the same time, he's convinced that I'm not. And he's trying to recommend me to go on the injection. But because of what I'm saying, he's got no power to use against me, basically.
So what's the medication for? What is the medication doing for you?
Well, it's supposed to be for bipolar and schizoaffective.
So they're saying you're schizophrenic?
That's what they were trying to say, yeah, and they were saying that I was having bipolar. So when I first got in hospital, they said that I was extremely happy, and I thought high of myself, and I was happy without a cause. Because obviously with the bipolar, it's highs and lows, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously I got the extreme happiness side.
And did you ever hit the road?
No, there's no need for me to do that, man. Come on, man. Do you get what I'm saying to you? You can't think that you're God, and ever have a sad day. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
So then how have they cashed you as bipolar?
This is why they've changed it to schizosis. Because basically, they were saying some next stuff, you get me, but they were basically saying, I've got flights of ideas, pressure of speech, enticing words, grandiose thoughts, and some other stuff, you get me?
Do you think this all stems back to your mum?
Yes, what I'm trying to explain to you before I started saying, I believe in God, after you did, none of this was happening. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? So, when I'm saying to you, that what am I trying to accomplish out of this year? Resurrections. That's what we need. Do you get what I'm saying to you? It sounds mad. Hold on. It does sound mad, but if you're going to say, to your kids anything's possible, you shouldn't put a limit on that, Does that make sense?
You was to me, you was a normal teenager. You used to get yourselves into trouble. You went to that school because you did whatever you did. But to me, and sometimes I used to feel really sorry for you, you used to come home on a Friday and I knew what you were coming home to because I knew your mum had been drinking. And you used to look after the kids all weekend. Remember that?
Mm.
Sometimes you'd stay here, do you remember? Do you remember when we and your mum argued because you were going to stay here and she didn't want you to stay, she wanted you to look after the kids? And her and Curtis argued. Remember all that?
Mm.
So sometimes I used to feel really sorry for you and think, you know what, that boy comes, goes to school on a Monday. You must have looked forward to that taxi picking you up on a Monday sometimes to go back to school because I knew what you were coming home to on a Friday. But then also sometimes you do something or say something that would justify your mum getting angry with you. But then I used to think, you're acting up because of what's going on in your life, because you looked after them kids all weekend, you used to cook for them, get them up and everything, didn't you?
Mm.
So you didn't have a good childhood. So any child that was going through what you were going through would have had the same thoughts as you. I'm telling you now, you're not the only one that would have thought them thoughts. So when your mum died, that's when you hit breaking point. Because I think you had built up, or stored up, and you'd never spoken about anything. And you kept it in, and you'd gone through what you'd gone through, and you just let it all out. And somewhere along the line, someone's took it as mental health. I don't think you're mental. And maybe people don't use that word that you're mental or whatever, but I don't think you are. I honestly believe you need to let all this out, all the thoughts you had about your mum and your childhood, because that's where it stems from, you know. Because I've seen your mum do, you know, the way she treated you. And it wasn't my place to tell her that you can't treat her. I'm not your mum, she was your mum. But I'm telling you now, sometimes you would stay here and probably have a bit of normality, where you'd have your dinner here, you'd be upstairs playing PlayStation with them and not looking after the little ones. That was probably the only time I seen you act normal, was when you was around other people your age and leading a normal teenage life. You never had a normal teenage life. And that is what's on your mind. You finding your mum that day. I remember you coming round here and saying you couldn't wake your mum up. Do you remember us, the two of us in there, thinking that you didn't even know she was dead? That, of course, that's going to affect you. I was an adult, and it played on my mind for months after. Couldn't get that vision out of my head on that settee. You were her child, that was your mother. Of course it's going to affect you. Did you honestly think you could carry on your life as normal after what you just witnessed? Of course it was going to affect you. Anybody with half a brain would know that was going to affect you. You have just found your mother dead on a settee. Because it fucked me up for months. Well, not fucked me up, but it on my mind for months. And every now and then I'd be doing something, and then I'd picture it, and I'd have to occupy myself to get them thoughts out of my head.
That's why it's a good thing I didn't come around after, as soon as you had said, when you'd give that invite, you get me, so we both could have some time to think.
But it was going to affect you. I can't believe that you honestly thought, or anybody would have thought, that you, as a 16-year-old boy, could have carried on your life as normal, and that not affect you. So you know, of course you've got things to work on. You need to just, have you ever sat down and spoke to like a grief counsellor or anything like that and said how have you told people that you found your mum?
Yeah, like the mental health people knowing that, but they don't really speak about anything to do with that.
You need to talk to somebody about how you felt at that time and your teenage years, because all people are focusing on now is the way you are now. You need to tell, you didn't have a good childhood. I don't think you had a good childhood from what I knew for you being here. And I can guarantee there's other people that would have thought, that boy looks after them children every weekend. I knew that's what you were doing. And maybe in some way I should have helped, but what could I have done?
You know what, we all have to learn from our lessons in life, you get me? But the good thing is, yeah, you know, it's brought us both here today, you get me? And you know, what you were saying, yeah, you get me? It just doesn't make me thinking that, you get me? Just you know, and it's true.
Hoda, you need to talk to somebody about, a professional, about even a grief counsellor, because you probably haven't grieved for your mum properly.
Hold on, you know what the thing is? I do kind of find it hard to grieve for my mum. Because remember the whole God thing. You know, I believe that she's alive. I believe that, because I got baptized, got saved, believe in God, watch my journey. Definitely believe that my mum's alive. Definitely believe that I'll be able to see her again. Definitely believe that it's definitely possible, that the stronger my faith is, the stronger the possibility is. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? So what I'm basically saying here, Debbie, what let's remember here, basically, situation is, yeah? I understand, yeah, that it, like, you see, when it comes to what I'm saying to you about God, yeah, I just want you to know, yeah, as I am, so are you. And where I am also. And even though there's a man and a woman here, I am in the middle. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that you should always remember your first person. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? Now what I'm saying to you, yeah, that most of the things that we love in this life, if we don't make it disappear by our own hands or break from our own hands, I'm trying to explain to you that we watch most of the things that we love go before our eyes, you get me? Just so we can look in the mirror and remember where the love has to be. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? Now, I'm trying to explain to you, yeah, that you seriously have to put wisdom above all things. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? Now, obviously, when it comes to this God thing, yeah, I see all of us as Jews. And I don't mean religious and studying Judaism, but Jew means chosen. So even the grass is a Jew because it's chosen for this existence. We're all equal to the grass. It's only when we think ourselves above the grass and each other where there's a difference. But we should always remember, as I am, so are you. I'm trying to explain to you, it's very simple, you get me? Now, who I give power has to have power. Does that make sense? So by the time I've gone to court here and honoured them as my judge, I've already accepted your judgment before God's. Does that make sense? Now, what I'm saying to you here is basically, you always have to remember, I am the first and I am the last. Before me there was none. After me there is none. So, even if you wanted to look at yourself like that, yeah? There's 100 Debbies, but they're still not you. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to explain to you, here I am. Let's share that with you, I am. So what I'm trying to explain to you is I am that I am. And if we reflect on who we are, I am who I am. I am me. So by the time that says that I am Cordell, you've always got to remember what I am saying first. Because there's a big difference between me saying that I am Cordell and I am me. Do you get what I'm trying to explain to you? You really need to start using your brains now. Nobody uses their brains, and it's something that I have to accept. But what I'm trying to explain to you is I am at that place where I just realise I'm talking to myself. And if I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to idols, demons, and whatever people and voices are living through their head. Now what I'm saying to you, is that there's one that speaks, but if you don't understand the interpretation of silence, you're not going to hear his voice.
So you're saying, right, who do you hear talking to you?
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Now just focus on the words and not the face and not the body, yeah? And remember, focus on your words, but then try and see yourself at the same time. And if you need the mirror, you understand who I am. I'm going to say that I'm talking to myself, and if I actually think, you'll understand I am there also. Does that make sense? Because this is getting past the stage now where I've got to start saying, I am God. And I want everyone to start looking at me saying, this is God. No. I told you, I am the Word. Yeah? I am the first word in the world. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was God. The Word was with God. We have that word right now. Now, when you decide to change the word that we have to start talking about let's go to the shop, that's when you've walked away from the word of God that was in the beginning. and you've entered a word in the world. Yeah? Listen to what I'm saying to you now. I'm going to ask you one question. Tell me one thing in this life that you know is real. And then I need you to tell me what it is.
One thing in this world that's real. Me.
Amen. Hey. You're starting to listen to my secret voice now. But let me tell you something, yeah? Only I am real. Yeah, only I am alive. Yeah? And what this basically means, yeah, is if I say that chair is real, I'm going to have to speak to that chair. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I'm going to say that this fridge is real, I'm going to have to speak to this fridge. Now, the only reason why this fridge is real is because of faith that I've put in it. Yeah? Now, if I only have faith in myself, then none of this exists apart from the word I believe that it is. So what you need to do is stop believing words that don't apply to who I am. And this is a long mission that I've come across, you get me? Now, what do you think? Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do actually, but have you sat down and spoke to somebody else about this?
Listen to what I'm saying to
And
you.
what do they say to you?
Listen to what I'm saying to you. Remember what you just said, about your beliefs and my beliefs,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to justify it as skilled as this because I've had to use Bibles and I've had to use my own thoughts. But now, I'm really getting that skill to listen to the secret voice. You get me? And exclude my opinion out of it. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So by the time I'm explaining my opinion to you and you've disagreed, I want to fight for that opinion and forget the original message in the first place. You get what I'm trying to explain to you? So this is why the conversation here has been able to be so nice. Now I'm trying to explain to you, the conversation can get better with this. Now I'm trying to explain to you, that I just want you to respect who I am, yeah? Not me, but who I am, yeah? I just want you to understand, that the devil's around every corner and he's going to always say something to piss you off. And these people that are doing it, they don't even know. They're just falling for their temptation. Now I'm trying to explain to you, I am alone. I am always going to be alone. Whoever's around me has to serve me, or I'm going to serve them. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I'm going to take it easy with you, Debbie, and the lessons. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But, they're at your request as well, you get me? I could be sitting there for you forever. You know what I'm saying?
But listen to me. No one's against you. Don't make anybody think that you're doing anything wrong.
It's written, if the world hates you, it hated me first.
Yeah, but please don't think anybody... I hate the thought that you think your thoughts or you are to blame in any way for anything. Don't make anybody make you believe that.
About my mum's situation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's alright.
Or anything.
Everyone's always said that I shouldn't think of it like that.
Anything you say to people or anything you believe in, no one can turn around and tell you you're wrong to believe that or to think that. So don't let anybody tell you you're wrong.
Alright, thank you.
Listen, just be careful whatever you do, wherever you go. Please, just be careful.
Can you check his skates in the way?
Yes.
Just shout from the window.
I will, yeah, I'll go from the little mile.